Jumanji as a kid.
But like enjoying it as well.
But,
Yeah, see, there you go. See, we loved it.
Right, you know, it was one of those movies that was always on TV.
Oh, yes,
I never really sat and watched it. Do you know that kind of way?
It was always the movie that was brought
but
in.
Jacqueline loved it. My wife, she loved it. She was a big fan of it as a kid.
It was one of those movies that was always brought in on, the last day of term in school, and just, like, that's the only time I ever got to see it. So I was it and The Phantom Menace all the time. So you can tell why I love Jumanji so much.
You know, Jumanji is actually a trilogy already, you know that, don't you?
Zathura, yeah. Which is maybe I still need to show you.
I need to see that, yeah.
Yeah, Tim Robbins is good.
Not bad, yeah, it's good.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. Like, it's Jon Favreau directing as well.
It's basically it's basically Jumanji in space.
Yeah, and it was basically his prototype to Iron Man.
Really? Your guy that's in Zathura in
Doc
the book
Shepard
is actually the guy that created Jumanji.
Who is it?
He's the guy in the character. I think, if I remember correctly, the guy that's in space in Zathura is the guy in continuity that created the Jumanji game.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Cool.
There's some kind of weird thing there as well.
Oh.
Because Zathura was meant to be like a really direct sequel to Jumanji, but it just never quite worked.
Well, see, in the original Chris Van Allsburg books, Jumanji is just a flat playing board game, like Monopoly.
Yeah.
But you flip it over, and on the other side, it's Zathura. But then obviously that doesn't work very visually in a movie. So in Jumanji, it's made out of wood and it's got the hinges and stuff. Zathura, it's a tin pressed game. It has like that little effect at the end that I love. And old toys used to do this now, but they're terribly unsafe. We need to wrap the kids in cotton wool, so you can't do that anymore. But at the end of the game, whenever you reach Zathura, the little planet lifts up and starts spinning. It opens up and it shoots out little sparks and stuff.
Oh, cool.
That's a really cool little old effect from like a 1950s like pressed tin toy. So I think that's where Sony learned their lesson.
Yeah.
Which was Jumanji Welcome to the Jungle, and it was announced and it was going to be a reboot, and everyone was like, oh, don't reboot Jumanji, Robin Williams has passed away, and it's terrible, it's bad, don't do it. And then it came out and it was a sequel. It was its own thing.
Yeah.
From start to finish. It had its own standalone feel to it, but it had...
The only thing it had as a sequel was his name etched in the
tree.
In the treehouse.
Yeah.
And that was enough.
That was perfectly enough,
That was enough.
Mm-hmm. Even just had Answer the Call, I said this at the time when it came out, I said this to Paul Feig himself the time we interviewed him. All you had to do was have a couple of little nods and references in that Answer the Call script. It would have been Ghostbusters 3.
I know he said I couldn't get my head around, carrying on the story, but he could have just told the story. All he had to do is tell that story, but have one of the original Ghostbusters in it.
Again, the best way to make movies like this work is give them to the fans. Mm. So, for example, Jason Reitman, there's no better person to direct it. He grew up on the sets of the first two movies. His dad is Ivan Reitman. What more do you need?
Yeah.
He's a fantastic...
He was in Ghostbusters and Ghostbusters 2. So,
exactly, yeah. And he's a fantastic director well within his own right.
Wouldn't it be great if he was in this new movie?
Yeah, I said this to you, yeah.
You said that as the kid.
Yeah, like a grown-up kid, and they've just bust a ghost or something. They get in the actual one with a smoking trap and they drive away, and he just looks at them going, still full of crap. Just cuts to the next scene. But so he's the perfect person to direct it. It's like with J.J. Abrams with The Force Awakens. He's a Star Wars nut job, and he basically made the love letter to Star Wars fans. So do things like that. Don't have someone like Paul Feig come in who is a great comedy director in his own right. And his style works well for his movies. Bridesmaids works well for him. Spy works really well for him. Ghostbusters doesn't work for him because Ghostbusters has a specific, unique tone to it. It's like when J.J. Abrams made Star Trek. J.J. Abrams didn't make Star Trek. He made Star Wars in the Star Trek universe.
But the thing, in fairness to Paul Feig, in all fairness to him, because we did interview him and we thought he was a really nice guy.
A lovely guy,
really
yeah.
Was, and we had
he is not
great time
worth the hate. He really isn't.
No.
Ghostbusters has a tone, unlike there was like Gremlins, Ghostbusters, Back to the Future, maybe like Tremors, Big Trouble in Little China, maybe but there's a handful of movies that are very important to people and the reason they're very important is because they're unlike anything else.
Yeah,
and to come in and replicate that is nearly impossible.
It is.
It is. There's no point in saying it's not because I don't make films. I don't know, but I can tell from the tone. If it was easy, everybody would have been doing it.
Yeah.
And even in the 80s, people weren't replicating how Ghostbusters looked and felt.
Because the thing is, the first Ghostbusters to me feels like some sort of fly-by-night operation where they were making it up as they went.
Yeah.
Because they didn't understand how to do it. Like, Dan Aykroyd dropped this script on them. The Stay Puft Marshmallow Man appears in the first 20 pages. Yeah. The Ecto-1 travels through dimensions.
Yes,
they have the proton traps. They have the proton packs strapped to their arms to fight ghosts. And Eddie Murphy was supposed to be in it.
I love that Eric Burnham and Dan Schoening brought in.
Yeah, they have the little the mini pack as well, and Winston uses it a lot in the comics, for example. But yeah, like this was a nuts idea for a movie. So basically, they gave it to Ivan Reitman, Harold Ramis, and they sort of like trimmed it down and stuff and turned it into what it is now. They didn't know what they were doing when they were making this, but all they knew was if we stay true to the characters, stay true to the story, everything else will work itself out, and it did. It's perfect.
But sure, even like whenever we interviewed Michael Gross years ago, God rest him, because he has passed away. But like he was saying as well, they knew the scene in where they're standing outside Dana's apartment and the crowd's all going Ghostbusters, Ghostbusters. They didn't have the rights at that time to call the movie Ghostbusters
because it was Filmation's cartoon series.
Filmation owned Ghostbusters, so they didn't have the rights. And Michael Gross at the time was saying, because he's the guy that designed the Ghostbusters logo, and he was saying that he was basically on the phone to the studio going, "Have we got the rights yet?" And they were like, "No, not yet." And he's like, "Well, you better get them because we're filming like 1,000 people in the street right now going Ghostbusters, Ghostbusters."
Oh my god!
And that was, so it was, and like also famously,
it's on the flybase.
It was, yeah. They didn't know what they were doing
because famously as well, Sony didn't have a tentpole movie for the next summer. And when they brought it in, so they're like, "Yes, brilliant, that'll do. We'll have that next summer." And they're like, "Sorry, what?" And they just,
so they only had a certain amount of time to make it as well.
They literally made the movie in like 7 months, 8 months.
And the practical effects as well were all built in that time to film. The little I forget the name of the effect now that they had for the puppets. Where like they had to project the puppets into the movie as well to make it work and stuff. So all that was done within the space of a year.
That's mad.
But it just goes to show pressure plus talent equals creativity.
Yeah.
And that's what we got. And I don't think anything has managed to live up to that first Ghostbusters movie.
No.
As far as I'm concerned. The second movie is, we don't know what we're doing, we'll just copy what we did in the first one.
I didn't realise that, like, till recently there was so much hate for the second one. Well,
there's not hate.
Just a frustration.
Disappointment, yeah.
I
I'm not angry with you, I'm just disappointed.
Yeah.
I love the second movie.
Yeah.
The whole Statue of Liberty thing, I can't make peace with that.
No.
Because it doesn't even make sense. She doesn't have legs.
all right.
It doesn't even in a fantasy way, it doesn't make sense. She's like 2 feet.
From 1 to 100
like 2 feet.
No.
It's just a solid bronze solid copper statue.
And how did she walk across the water? I don't.
How is she tall enough to stand in the harbour?
I don't understand. Right. So right up until that point, it's great.
Yeah.
It really is great. It's funny. The characters are back. It looks and feels like Ghostbusters.
I loved how the characters were reintroduced. Like Ray and Winston, they're still riding the coattails of their fame from '84, and they're going to birthday parties and stuff, and it's a little bit sad. Venkman's,
it is sad. It's tragic.
Yeah.
They started to tragic.
I like Venkman's hosting World of the Psychic.
Oh god! Yeah.
Egon seems to be the only one that's actually
bummer.
Valentine's Day, bummer. Yeah. The Hotel Inn, Paramus. I met him at a bar. He took me. He must have used some type of array. He had a one-night stand, love. Get over it.
Skinless pets.
Oh my god.
Hairless cats.
Yeah.
Egon seems to be the only one that's having fun because like he's doing these like therapy sessions and a couple are there for like couples therapy, but like he's keeping them locked in a room for hours, telling them to wait, turning up the temperature in the room.
He just says like, take away the kitten.
Yeah. Let's see what happens when we take the puppy away.
But like, I mean, even famously, because Dan Aykroyd said that, I think it was Aykroyd, it might have been Harley at the time, but at the end of the movie, they didn't know how to finish the movie.
Yeah.
The script wasn't actually finished. They didn't really know.
God,
and they were basically just making it up as they went along.
See, the way I always saw it for Ghostbusters was you would be able to make, I don't know,
This is Ghostbusters 2 we're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They didn't have a clue what they were going to, how they were going to end,
serious?
which is why the end of Ghostbusters 2 is bonkers.
Yeah, it's nuts. And a lot of stuff was filmed for Ghostbusters 2 that was cut out. Like, there was a scene where Ray was supposed to get possessed by Vigo and crash to the Ecto 1.
That's right. And there is still some footage.
And they filmed it's in the montage.
And stuff, yeah.
If you watch the montage in Ghostbusters 2, it's very weird. Because it's made up of all these very specific scenes that were supposed to be in the movie but got cut out, whereas in the first movie, like you had the scene where Winston and Ray, I think it is, examine the old house, the old fort, and Ray gets the infamous from the ghost sort of thing. That was a full scene that got cut down and put into the montage and stuff. In this second movie, the montage is edited really, really weird. Because you have a scene where like Ray's driving the Ecto 1 and you see it going and like skidding around a corner going through a red light. And it cuts to inside the car and Venkman's there like that in the back seat.
It's
and
in the real Ghostbusters adaptation of it as well. It's in the comic book.
Yeah, and like he looks around and has like a puzzled sort of look on his face. But it cuts away and you're like, oh, what was that? Was that supposed to be funny or something? That's Ray possessed.
Oh my
driving
God.
the Ecto-1 like a maniac.
Just for the record, by the way, that scene that you're talking about, that scene in the first Ghostbusters, has probably got the best special effects in the whole movie.
It does, yeah.
When the belt opens.
Oh, yeah.
It's unbelievable.
Not only that, but the actual ghost floating over him.
Yeah,
I think like that reminds me of, do you know the Ghost of Christmas Past from Muppets Christmas Carol?
Yes.
It's got that.
It's like in water almost.
It's in water, and like they've managed to rotoscope it. Rotoscope, that's the effect I was talking about. Like rotoscope it into the shot or something like that. Yeah, it's insane.
I think in the second one, my favourite one was the toaster, where they're making it really angry.
Loves Jackie Wilson.
That
was brilliant.
That ones you have to watch.
Yeah.
You're not sleeping with it, are you, Ray?
You hound. It's Harold Ramis's look. It's it's unbelievable. And I love the fact that every time you cut back to the firehouse, like Egon and Ray are doing weird stuff with that slime.
Yes.
Really, really weird stuff. Like they have like electrical caps on their heads, and like they've got it plugged into the slime and all. It's like, what are you doing?
That scared me was the bathtub.
Still
to this day actually makes me still go.
I think it was the TV premiere of Ghostbusters 2 that I first caught, and I must have been really young when this came out.
Yeah.
My granddad was watching it, and all I could remember was looking up at the screen and seeing this big bathtub going like that, and then it cut to her at Venkman's apartment, and I just remember seeing like all the windows. You know, Venkman's apartment's really weird. Like it has windows inside the room,
and it's got like
it's like that. That's the only two things I ever remembered from Ghostbusters 2, because I didn't know what it was, and they haunted me for years. And I remember like this, you know, when the slime goes into the bathtub, and it looks like waste. Yes. Whenever it's like collecting up, like in the bottom of the bathtub, like those are the three things that were kind of like burned into my mind until I saw Ghostbusters 2, and I was like, I remember that. I lost so much sleep over that as a child.
Anytime I turned the tap on and no water came out,
you were waiting for
I had that moment going, no slime, no.
And also, in a nice, fun little crossover as well, the guy that made that practical effect to make the slime come out of the tap, that's the guy that created Robot Wars.
Yes, we got that.
So there you go. That's two of our favourite things, like lovingly marched together.
I did love when we did the interview with him that he like the stuff he told us about what other things he'd done. I was like this, and he also did the Star Wars props as well.
He did, yeah. He built the Death Star 2,
and he also done
the corridor
in the Empire Strikes Back. He done all the buildings.
Yeah, he made the Bespin Clyde City. Yeah, that's right, because he was a model maker. Yeah, and he still has the little tap faucet effect that he has from Ghostbusters 2.
He still has the city as well.
He still has that too. So a lot of creativity went into Ghostbusters 2, despite the fact it didn't really turn out so well. But see, the thing is for Ghostbusters for me, after that first script that Aykroyd wrote, that was bonkers. It was mad. Like it was like that big, and like it had all this nonsense in it. Surely you could take that, split it up into little sections, and make several Ghostbusters movies out of that one movie. Because I mean, Stay Puft appears on the 20th page of that script, and it's the big bad at the end of the movie. Which, again, I don't think to this day anyone appreciates just how funny that is. I don't think anyone gets it. A lot of people like go, "Well, it's Big Marshmallow Man. That's stupid." No, you have to realize this is a god. Yeah. This is a creature that's appeared as a large and moving torb, and what's the other thing he calls it? A slore, like roasted in the pits of the slore that day. I can tell you, it's been these big apocalyptic things. It's a Marshmallow Man now.
But it's a hat tip as well to the studio for greenlighting that.
Yeah,
that's fine.
That's bonkers.
Not
do
a
it.
chance would that happen today.
No,
not a mission.
It's the eyes, and I know it's a big practical head and stuff, and like you see the eyes going left to right.
What's going on?
Yeah, it's the effect because it's like the big smile, and the eyes are like,
what have you done to me?
I'm a god. I'm made out of foam.
Yeah. I know, it's mental.
No, I'd love a Walter Peck type character back again for this movie. Like,
I wouldn't really like seeing William Atherton back in it.
It would be nice to see him back in. I want Peacock to make an appearance. Yeah, because Peacock has been. It was introduced in the video game. It's a big influence in the IDW series, in the comic books. I'd love to see Walter Peck running that, but he maybe just has like a little sort of cameo going, like, you know, keep an eye on them Ghostbusters. I'd love Sam Rockwell to be the new Walter Peck, because I think he plays a dick just so well, doesn't he? Like, he plays just a real smarmy guy so well.
You could have him as well as, like, maybe in the Ghostbusters team, but he's working for Peacock and they don't know.
Yeah, he's like the spy.
Maybe he's somebody in the team that they don't like and he is a bit of a dick.
Yeah.
You know, like, that's the kind of character Rockwell excels at.
Yeah, I'd love something like that, in all fairness. What about other characters like Janine back as well? Annie Potts? Do we think we'll see her as a secretary, even though she's like what in her 60s now?
Yeah, but she looks amazing.
I know she looks amazing.
She was in the reboot.
That's not fair.
She looks amazing.
I know.
So yeah.
See that red hair as well. Oh,
bring her back.
Hello, Janine.
I'd say she's got another job or something, and they're trying to recruit her back.
Or maybe she